What's up, people? How the hell have you been? I feel very awkward right now because I'm sitting on my stool. Don't mind my extremely white legs. I feel like the shorts make it look even worse. However, I feel extremely awkward because I'm sitting on my stool, which is substantially higher than my camera. And quite honestly, I am far too lazy to go get something and put it under this to have to bring it up to have it where I think it should be. So hopefully this looks all right enough for you. If not, well, get over it. So how's life? How have things been? Hopefully your Christmas has been hopefully epic. Hopefully you got all kinds of good stuff. Hopefully you got some music stuff. Hopefully you got some cool gear. Some more socks. I mean, who doesn't need more socks and underwear? And on a side tangent, do you remember when you were a kid how getting like underwear and socks or clothes were just like the absolute worst thing somebody could give you? And then as you get older, I mean, it's just like, you know, like you'd be lost without that pair of socks or anything else. Also, Halen's entertaining himself per usual, so we're going to try and make it through this. By now, I'm going to stop bringing that up because you guys know I got a dog and that's just the life that I live. So, there you go. But I really haven't been up to a whole lot. It was just the holidays. People left, out of town, work. We're going through a bunch of stuff transitionally at work. You know, nothing bad, but just transition stuff. Just, you know, work. But I've been just trying to get just, you know, clean the house and just do normal stuff. So, you know, just was out of commission there for a little bit. Again, nothing bad. Just, I didn't honestly really have time to post. Figured it's been a few weeks, so it's now time to get back into that. But I wanted to talk to you today about one of the guitars that obviously I have. But I wanted to kind of transition into now the guitars that I own. I always like watching people talk about like their collections or their guitars or the stories behind them and this and that. And this guitar has a very cool story behind it. But without further more, I'm going to just explain what this is first, and then I'll proceed to tell you the story behind this said guitar. So what this is, and again, I mean, my apologies in advance, guys, because this guitar I've known about for years. And so there's not a whole lot of information on these. So if you are a connoisseur, if I just even said that correctly, on these guitars in particular, please, down in the comments, let me know more information on this stuff. Because again, I'm just going off of what I've come across from over the years. So what this guitar is known as the Peavey EXP V-Type Limited Audition. Okay? So what is the guitar, essentially? What it is, again, to my understanding, is a signature guitar for the lead guitarist of, you know, one of the greatest 80s bands ever, Whitesnake. His name was Adrian Vandenberg. Okay, so Adrian Vandenberg, this was his signature guitar, in a way. Okay, so his actual signature guitar, again, the Peavey Vandenberg, was a very, you know, similar shape to this. Okay, it did have the reverse headstock. Okay, but however, his, and again, this is all black, so it's a little bit harder to see, so my apologies. But they come in different colors. We'll touch on all this stuff. But his had a humbucker, and then it had, I believe, a single coil or like a Hot Rails pickup here in the neck position. And his, I think, were like predominantly like pink or like a blue, or I think he had a white one as well. And it was a bolt-on neck. Okay, and even the headstock, I think here at the tip, it had like a little bit of some like beveled. Like 3 beveled edges. It made it almost look like a wing or something. But I've seen that only on a few of them. But that guitar nowadays is going for around $3,000 to $5,000. They're very sought after guitars. They're just, you know, 80 shredders from back in the day. But again, that was his signature guitar, and to my knowledge, those were USA made. So, like many guitar companies do, they come out with, you know, their Japan made, their Korean made ones. They might call it a different, give it a different name or a different serial number, or change one thing about it, or this or that. So those guitars were the actual USA signature versions of Adrian Vandenberg. Then, again, I don't know the timeline about what came out first. Shut up! About what came out first, but what I do know is that they had a Peavey EXP V-type, again, similar, this is the limited edition, but the Peavey EXP V-type, which was kind of like, again, the Vandenberg-esque V-type guitar, again, to my understanding, but it came out in some different colors. It came out in like a sparkly orange, again, a blue, whatever. It was a bolt-on neck, double humbucker, okay, just like this one. The body shape was the exact same, had these little cut edges here, and still the reverse headstock, but the neck wasn't painted the same color as the body. It was a two-piece situation. Again, it was a bolt-on neck. The headstock, I believe, were just in black. But that came out, and I guess that was kind of like their Epiphone-esque version of the USA model. Okay, and those are a little bit easier to find. They're not quite as popular. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of cool projects, guitars on them, and like airbrush artsy stuff on it, make it look really cool. Now this one, this is again the Peavey EXP limited edition. Now this one is my absolute favorite between all of them. I have not had the luxury to get to play a USA Adrian Vandenberg signature guitar, but I hear they're absolutely fantastic. But between all of them, this is my absolute favorite one. So before I go into specs, let me explain the story about this guitar just in my own personal life. Even if you care to hear it or not, it's my channel. I can talk about whatever the hell I want. So you're going to listen, or you can fast forward. So, sorry, I don't know why I was so mean there. Maybe I'm still deeply upset about something deep-rooted in my life that I need to talk to somebody about. I don't know. Neither here nor there. But this guitar, years and years and years ago, back when I very first started playing, I've been playing since I was 16. So if you want to know how old I am, I'm 34. So I've been playing for a while. Shut up. So, get down. Get down. You can sit there and stare at me, or you're going to get down. Make a decision. So, again, years and years and years ago, there was this music store way back when I used to live in the middle of nowhere in hometown, Indiana. There was a music store called Far Out Music, okay? And I would go in there literally... You're being too much right now. I would go in there literally once a week, twice a week, any day I could get off from school, and either drive up there if I had my car, if I didn't have a driver's license yet. I used to walk there. And so what I would do, as like any kid would do, is I would go and I would sit there and I would go, you know, play all this stuff I can't afford, or try out different pedals, or I would just sit there and pick the brains of all the people that work there. I'm like, well, what does this mean? What does this do? Why is it a 1/4-inch cord? What does that even mean? Where does it go? What's a preamp section? What's a looper? What's a synthesizer? You know, what you mean? A gauge of string matters? I mean, you just go down the rabbit hole, right? Because you're soaking it all in. It's completely new to you. You're a sponge. And you know, I was just getting into guitar. I mean, literally, I just got my very first one, which is right here. That's a video for another time. But I went in there and I saw on the shelf this guitar. Not this exact one. The exact model, the exact color, yes. But this is the story. But I saw a Peavey V-type, black just like this, looks just like this on the shelf, just hanging there. just hanging there. And I never played it. And because it was, I don't remember if I was too short and I couldn't reach it or something, or I just was just so terrified to touch an expensive guitar at that time. Because I want to say this guitar was maybe, you know, $500 to $800, maybe $800. I mean, it was expensive for back then. I mean, I don't even think I had a job yet, you know, or I just started making, you know, less than $5 an hour. It was basically child slavery. But nonetheless, this guitar was on the shelf, and I finally got a job. Oh, don't be doing that. Get a different toy. A different toy that doesn't make god-awful noise. Different toy. Different toy. Sorry, guys. He's going to go to town on this thing, and when he gets a squeaker, it don't stop. Get you another toy. Where's your other toy? Get your ball. Get your ball. Go get your ball. He's about to lose his shit here in a minute. But this guitar, I had just started working later in that summer, and I remember working my ass off to try and get money for this guitar, because I mean, I'm not rich, my parents aren't rich, and I knew sure as well that they weren't gonna buy me, you know, this guitar here. Sorry. So I save up enough money. Hey, take that somewhere else. Take it somewhere else. You're killing me. Every day we do this. Can I get 20 minutes? Hey! Give it a break. Go get a different toy, please. Anyway, so I work, I get up enough money for this guitar. I finally go into the store. Helen! Give me a second, guys. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Get up. Go. Get your toy. Now he's really going to lose his mind. But anyway, I finally saved up enough money to get this guitar. And when I went in there, the guitar was sold. And I was devastated. Because I couldn't find this guitar for the life of me. Anywhere. Literally could not find it. I go in there and I remember talking to the owner of the store, and I was like, hey man, whatever happened to that Peavey guitar? And he's like, I just sold it. And I was just like, you're freaking kidding me. So he sold the guitar, but I just thought this guitar was the sickest looking guitar from as far as an electric guitar standpoint that I had ever seen, like as a stock guitar. Obviously Eddie's Frankenstein guitar is probably my all-time favorite guitar, but as far as a stock manufactured from the company guitar, this guitar was it. And to this day, I think it is the sleekest, coolest looking guitar I've ever seen. I mean, it's just the design of it is just so sleek and so cool and so badass. I mean, it's very hard to be original in the guitar industry with guitar bodies and the shapes and sizes, and a lot of them are trademarked and this and that. But, you know, it's hard to come out with a cool design that's still original to its own. And yeah, it kind of looks like a soloist or like a you know, cross between a soloist and like a Strat kind of body. But it's so much sleeker than that. I mean, let me get a more of a close-up so you guys can see how sleek this guitar, you know, looks here. But I mean, look at that. You know what I mean? And the headstock. Look at that. Look how sick that headstock looks. Again, this may not be for everybody, but for me, this guitar is the shit. Look at it. You know, and it's just an all-black, sleek guitar. And it looks killer. Killer. Let me get this guitar strap out of the way here. But I mean, look at that. Got a nice little tummy contour there and this and that. Right? There's the back. The headstock's at a slight tilt. I don't know, maybe between 12 and 15 degrees, maybe, something like that, if I was to guess. I don't know. But anyway, this guitar was just so sleek to me. It just looked so cool. And I was just like, man, I'm never going to find a guitar again. Well, lo and behold, I'm talking probably 2 years later. 2 to 3 years later, there was one on eBay. And I was so pumped that I finally found it, because this guitar is discontinued. I think they stopped making it in like 03, 02, something like that. I'm not even sure how many they made necessarily, but I couldn't find it. And I finally found it on eBay, but it was in white. It was in white. And I just bought it because I was just like, I love the body shape, I love the style of the guitar, and I was like, I just have to have it. And the only differences was, again, it was all white, but it had gold hardware. So the knobs were gold, the bridge was gold, the saddles here were gold. I think the pickup rings were still black, pretty sure. And the tuners were also gold. Still like a rose board fretboard, but it was a white guitar. And I got that guitar and I played the absolute hell out of it. I really did. I gigged with that thing. I played everywhere with that thing. And I don't know why. I think I was just in the middle of trying to upgrade my stuff. And I sold the guitar. And I remember I got the guitar for such a steal. I got it for under $400. And back then that was like nuts. I got it for under $400. Still wish I had that guitar. I still want an all white one with no Floyd on it. And again, we'll go over specs here in a minute. So, sell the guitar. Immediately regretted it. And couldn't find any in really any color. You know, I couldn't find the limited edition series. And then if I ever found the limited edition ones, people wanted, you know, $1,500-$1,600 for them, and they, quite frankly, they're just not. The market was never that high for them, to be honest. They were just never that much, so I just never bothered to pay for one. And then by the time one finally came around, there was always something a little bit different about it. Maybe someone exchanged out the parts, or they altered it in some way. And I think the guitar's perfect pretty much as it is. I mean, there might be one thing I would ever change on it, but I really try to keep guitars true to how they are as much as possible. But again, you know, this guitar is strictly for me, so you can do whatever you want, but I just wanted to keep it pure because I just thought it was just nostalgia for me at that point. But I couldn't freaking find any that either had a Floyd on it or, you know, whatever else. And I love Floyd Rose guitars, I do. So I finally came across a black one, but again, it had a Floyd Rose on it. And so I got with the Floyd. I'm thinking, all right, sweet, this is a match made in heaven, because, you know, my white one didn't have a Floyd on it. And I was like, man, this would be sick if it had a Floyd. Well, I got it with the Floyd, and the Floyd just looked really cheap to me. It was a licensed by, you know, Floyd Rose, and it just looked like cheap plastic. It functioned fine. But again, my playing then still sucked. So I don't think it was so much guitars, it just was me thinking like, oh, because I get a nice guitar, it's going to make me play better or something. And that's not the case at all. Because I was horrible. I sucked. And so another thing that bothered me about that guitar was the Floyd on it. There was, on the back, you'd have to take off the back cavity plate in order to get the Floyd off. It was like kind of like the old Ernie balls, like the EVH from the 90s one. There was a little nut that you had to kind of push in with a tool to be able to get the bar out. And I never knew that then, so I just left it on, and I'd have to close it with the case and open it, and it would never intonate right. And it just, again, I didn't know what the hell I was doing then. So I turned around and I sold that one. So I got the guitar twice already, sold it twice, and I was just like, man, if I ever come across an all black one with no Floyd and has been tampered with, I'm buying it. I don't care how much it is. I will find a way. So I was like, this is a guitar that I have to have. And then I ended up having this picture that my mom bought me at a flea market once, and it said like the circle of life, and I had all these guitars going in like a circle, all the way down to being like small, kind of like what do you call it, a illusion. And there was a Peavey V-type limited edition on there as one of them, but it was in a green. Now they didn't make this guitar in a green color, but I always thought it looked really sleek, and it was like a flame top looking green one. So maybe there was one in existence. I don't know, but I thought that was just so sick. But I was watching it and looking at that poster all the time. I was like, I have to get this guitar back. I have to. So years and years go by, right? I'm talking now years, 10 plus years go by. And I just finally, in the last 2, saw this guitar on Reverb of all things, and I bought it. I bought it immediately. I think I got it for, I want to say it was like $800. I mean, they're going now for anywhere between like 5 and 8. The Vandenberg USAs are going for like $3,000, and the EXPs you can get for under $500, depending on how tricked out it's been, or if it's in parts or this or that or whatever else. But anyway, so I got it back, and I'm never going to get rid of this guitar now. I mean, that's 3 times that I've now had this guitar, sold it the other 2, and I was just like, I'm keeping it. Now I do see it's online right now, I think on Reverb and a couple other places. It seems like they're kind of popping up a little bit more now, but still very rare. They're discontinued. They don't make this guitar anymore. Like I said, 2002, 2003, I think it was 2003 they stopped making them. And again, I don't know how many they made, but this one I believe is made. It's made in Korea. As you can see here on the back of the headstock, it says there in some gibberish cursive writing, Wow. Let me flip that back over there. It just does not want to focus, does it? Sorry. So if you can see it right there. So yeah, so manufactured in Korea. Okay. So it's manufactured in Korea. Again, made, cheaper than the USA version. But these guitars aesthetically is what really more so does it for me. I'll go into how it plays in a minute. So let's just go into the specs as far as, again, as what I know. Again, as you see, it's a gloss finish guitar. Okay, it is a rosewood fingerboard. If you notice, no inlays. Except for the 12th, it says limited edition there. See, rosewood fretboard. What's really cool is there's around the binding, as you can see. There's some cream binding there on the far outside, but then there's abalone all the way around this guitar, and I think it is just such a beautiful touch. It is art. It is such a pretty guitar for being so simple. Now it's not, I just dropped my pick. It's not double binded, so it's not binded over here as well on this side. But just strictly here. But this guitar is in great condition. I mean, there's not really too many nicks, picks, or pings. I mean, there's one little scratch here, scratch there, but I'm not really worried about it. Because again, these guitars are made to be played, man. And this guitar is still in really great condition. Again, into the body here with the saddles makes it a lot more resonant, and especially being a neck through. This is all one piece of wood. There's not no 2-piece, no nothing. And for this being a Korean-made, cheaper-made guitar, for this to be a 1-piece guitar, just sick. I mean, you would pay big buku bucks to get a guitar now without it being a bolt-on. There is pros and cons to that, like anything else. I'll try to remember to touch on that. But look, it's still even got the freaking manufacturer stickers on here, dude. I didn't even think it says who is inspected by. It does. It says passed here by Joe Blow and his friends, I guess. But great condition guitar. This guitar did come with a case back in the day. It was an alligator case. Before I forget to touch it on base on that. The pickups, it's 2 humbuckers in this one specifically. Again, the USA version was a bolt-on neck with the hot rails. It came in completely different colors, no abalone, no binding. There are differences in between these models. But again, I was talking about this one specifically. You got your stop tail bridge. It's got a volume, tone, and a 3-way selector switch down here. The pickups are just some ceramic hot wound whatevers they were. I have no idea. Honestly don't know. I don't know how much Adrian Vandenberg had to do with these, if they were custom wound, if it was just what Peavey had. I have no idea. Really, I have no clue. I've tried to find it. I've tried to do a little bit of research on what exactly they were. I don't know. I'm just assuming that they were done in-house or whatever else. But this guitar has so many contours on it. Like for instance, like the neck joint up here, this access point up here. Look at that. That's like almost like PRS here, but on the back. So it's real comfortable, real easy. It's easy to get up here on these higher frets. It is 24 frets, by the way. But it's easy to get up here on these higher frets. So this is a shredder's dream come true. And it's actually a very, I wouldn't say extremely light guitar, but it's on the lighter side. I mean, I'm holding this with one arm and not a big deal, okay? Let's see, what else? Again, you got this contour here. You got a big tummy cut there. But I mean, this guitar is just so freaking sleek. I mean, look at the like that cut there is so aggressive. I don't know what it is about it. It just makes it cool, and how the body just kind of, it's a little bit bigger over here and shorter here. It's got the 2 beveled edges there. I mean, it's just a sick looking guitar, man. I mean, maybe you all can tell me otherwise or whatever else, but I think it's just a great looking guitar. It does have Grover tuners, and look at the middles there. They're all open there and hollow, which I always thought was a cool thing. A little dusty, sorry. Yeah, take care of that. You see there on the headstock again, it says Peavey V-Type EXP. It does have a string retainer here and just a plastic nut, unfortunately, but you know, it is what it is. So what are some pros and cons of this guitar? Well, again, pros aesthetically, 11 out of 10. 100%, at least for me. Again, that's my guitar, my opinion. Guitar is sick. The jack here is down here on the side. That's a pro. We like that. We like the jack that it's down here. Easy access, whatever. It is kind of easy to pull out, but it's got the football shaped one, so it doesn't, like, it's hard to get out. The strap buttons are freaking huge. That's a plus. I mean, your strap ain't coming off. It does not come with this guitar strap. I just thought it matched and kind of looked cool, so that's what I did. The knobs are kind of like their own thing. They got some like a rubber on them, which is kind of cool as a pro, I guess you could say. Selector switch, I mean, it is what it is. Can't really go wrong with that unless it's just crappy electronics. We'll go into the pickups in a second. A pro/con is going to be the neck, because it is a gloss, you know, completely glossed all the way through. So, you know, if you're playing and you got real sweaty hands and this and that, that's why I prefer non-finished necks, or at least oil finished. Because when you're sitting here playing and your hands get all sweaty and this and that, like it kind of gets almost caught up on there, stuck sometimes. But I don't play this guitar as much as like I used to back then. But I remember my hand kind of being like, and you get stuck on stuff as I'm trying to like go somewhere. My hand just felt real sweaty and nasty, and I was just like, ooh, you know. So that's neither here or there. There are no fret dots on the guitar. Again, the only thing you have is limited edition here at the 12th fret. But you do obviously have your side dots. So for me, just starting out playing guitar, that kind of helped me kind of get familiar around with just about any guitar, because I'm like, well, crap, if I can play this without having to be like, you know, and having to look and to see exactly what I'm doing, you know, then it just kind of helped me. But again, I still have the fret dots here, so I still have every idea of where I'm at on the neck. So, you know, pro or con, could be either. One of the cons is going to be the neck pickup. The neck pickup is shite. It's very muddy. It doesn't have a whole lot of clarity. I'll grab my pick. Because like I said, I dropped it earlier. Mike's going to make it a little bit more percussive here. Very muddy. It doesn't really clean up that well. And again, I don't know what you can hear here or from behind me. Let's see. White Snake song there. So, you know, it's just very kind of muddy. So I'm just playing random riffs that I don't even know if I remember how to play. Like I said, the bridge pickup, pretty hot. Yeah, does what it's supposed to. Pretty good. Yeah, overall, I mean, the guitar, I'd probably give it like, you know, honest opinion, 8 out of 10. Again, more so because of the cosmetics. But again, you can upgrade the electronics. You could change the pickups out if you want. It's not like this guitar is worth like a crap ton of money at this moment. But again, who's to sit there and say that it won't be worth a ton of money later? Is there anything else I didn't really touch base on? I mean, the guitar is pretty straightforward. I advise if you find it, if this is your fancy and you want a, you know, piece of 80s, you know, holy greatness, then I suggest that's, you know, completely what you do. Is it sacrilegious to play Def Leppard on an Adrian Vandenberg guitar? Don't know, don't care. That was a horrible pick slide. So yeah, that is the Peavey V-Type. I suggest you go out there, you give it a look. If you find any information, or if you can come up with anything that I haven't covered, or if you have one and you want to talk about it and you have more information on it, like I said, I would love to know, you know, please, you know, let me know more about it, because like I said, this guitar I think is just super sick, and I haven't found really a whole lot of information on it. But let this also be a lesson to you guys. When you have a guitar that you know is badass, don't let it go, because it may not come back to your grasp again, like that woman that you let down and you're like, damn it, I just need her back in my life, or that car that you sold, or that last savory bite of food that you wish you could puke up and eat again because it was so delicious, but that's inhumane, so we don't, unless that's your fancy. Neither here or there. But again, let that be a lesson. I'm also proud of myself today because I went to Guitar Center with a $30 gift card, and my goal was to not spend over $30, and I managed to go there and not spend a cent. But I was there for about 2.5 hours, and I touched about everything I could touch. So thank God we're not in the pandemic anymore, because they probably would have kicked me out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say. So moving forward, I'm going to talk about some of the other electric guitars that I have for a while. Again, I know you guys really seem to care about the EVH stuff and this and that, which I'm all about, Van Halen all the way. But right now, like I said, is not the best building time currently, because it's cold as balls outside, and it's not a good time to paint. It's not a good time for wood. It's not a good time for anything. And the weather here just can't make up its mind what it wants to do. It's like the warmest winter we've had, but still not warm enough to paint. So, so we're just still holding off. There might be 2 more EVH builds I might even do for next year. And then maybe 1 custom build. So again, we're going to start touching a little bit base on some other things. If there's anything you guys would like to see. I was also running there was a guy on another video. Forgive me, dude, for not giving you a shout out. I don't remember what your name is. But yeah. But looky here. I got 2 of the Yamahas now. Okay. Got these shells from Hobby Lobby for a nice little setup. But I got those 2. So I was kind of running like a wet, dry kind of setup over here. So sorry about the 60 cycle hum. But it sounds amazing. So I know it's going to come across in the audio on the iPhone there that great. But it sounds amazing. It really does for what it is. So anyway, guys, hope all is well. Hope you're doing great. Just, do whatever the hell it is you do. Until next time, peace.